Like I grew up reading books, and for me, growing up, like books were a great doorway to open like conversations about
Sure.
different things. So hunting, not everybody hunts anymore. Like if you look online,
It's a
like
stigma. A lot of people hate it. I
yeah,
know it.
and they don't realize how many dollars from hunting licenses go towards conservation.
Shit tons.
Way more. Even when I was in Africa, like my buddy who owned the lodge there was like, Greenpeace brings in X amount of dollars. African people who come to hunt Africa
Safaris.
bring in millions.
Oh, yeah.
Millions.
Yep.
And that money goes towards, conservation. And the way he described it,
Like
this is
not only
this
conservation,
is Africa.
but
This
preservation, like habitat preservation.
Exactly.
Paying those trackers, helping those people survive, shit like that.
Well, they have to have, so they have all of these acres for hunters to come in, right? And people are like, oh, don't hunt Africa, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? If they don't have this income, then they're going to use that land for something else, for agriculture, for raising cattle and sheep and other animals that will push off the natural wildlife and game. And so what happens is those farmers then are killing off the natural wildlife, the antelope, the elephants.
They're your biggest
the
poachers,
lions.
realistically.
They are, and they have to, because they're like, well, we need the cattle. The cattle need that. We can't have both. Can't have the wildlife that's going to, eat all of this. Our cattle needs this food. So we have to get rid of all of these animals that were here naturally. So actually hunters are like doing a huge it might not seem like it, but like when I explored Namibia up north where, those tribes were and stuff, they are cattlemen. There were no antelope, there were no elephants, there were none of the natural wildlife that I found on my buddy's property where it was just like wildebeest, oryx, like springbuck, impala, black-faced impala, which are only there in Namibia. Like there are so many different animals, but it's also the same in the US. So like all of our hunting licenses, like the taxes on, our ammo and other things, those go towards conservation.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, so we need to keep having generation, like, we need to have people hunting. And so that was part of my reason for having these books, creating these books, was to just kind of keep that spark going. But I've so far been able to donate over I think to date is between 250 to 300 copies of my books to public libraries, schools, daycares, families, hospitals, stuff like that. So
that's pretty cool.
It's been really awesome. Like I've had a ton of support, way more than I ever imagined. So yeah. And actually my second book, Chasing Turkeys, I actually wrote that book in the turkey blind. So yeah.
Ain't that cool?
It was raining.
So you're saying I need to write a book next fall while I hunt, not
your
take it
phone
away.
watching football.
Yeah.
Put your phone away.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason it was raining, and I was like, I don't usually hunt in a turkey blind. My buddy had a blind, and he was like, you can just go sit in my blind. So I did. There were no turkeys, so I wrote Chasing Turkeys.
Unreal. What a wild deal.
That's pretty cool. But I mean, it goes back. I think some of your biggest conservationists are hunters because they know and understand.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes.
Hunters love the animals that probably more than people who don't hunt love the animals that we're hunting.
You know why? Because if they don't preserve the animal that they're hunting, then they will no longer be able to hunt.
Man, that's a wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That's the whole.
So you got to protect them.
What's that? TRCP.
100%.
Teddy Roosevelt
And also it's
Conservation
Club.
No, that was a P.
And we want lots of these animals. It makes it more fun to hunt when there's more of them out there.
Right.
So like,
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to kill the last one.
No.
Just like that
But
last.
that's a good footnote in history, though.
Just like that last.
In
crap
fact,
ball on
there
the
is
plate.
no quail hunting in Indiana anymore. The populations of quail have gone down so much that that's not been a thing for years now. Where I grew up quail hunting with my dad.
Yep.
There's still quail, but my dad doesn't hunt them anymore.
No.
Right.
Let's say a friend of ours, we just talked about it last week, the QUGA the big banquet they got coming up.
Yeah.
Well,
It's already gone.
it's already gone now,
In
but
podcast time.
it's a thing that they have to.
That's
do
a
to
real mind thing,
keep that
Allison. When you start doing this for 3 years,
We're in the zone of time.
you realize we're a week ahead talking about things when
Yeah.
it's right now. It's a wild deal.
Time isn't real.
No,
That's right.
you're exactly.
Oh, now you're starting to scratch Dave's
Conservation
itch.
is
Yeah.
Starting
We're
to scratch
grabbing a
Dave's itch
gear.
now. Go ahead and get the aluminum foil tin hats
Where
on.
you stand on aliens?
They got to be out there.
Amen.
Like, let's be
That's
honest.
right.
Amen.
Jeez.
Amen.
What about on Bigfoot or Sasquatch?
I mean, okay, so I've heard a story about another hunter literally down like
He get butt.
if he did, he didn't admit it.
Wouldn't tell
Nobody
nobody.
But
would.
apparently he was hunting like the bottoms, like the river bottoms down here by the Ohio, and something
Heard a tree knock.
huge.
Bigfoot.
He won't hunt there anymore.
Big.
He
freaking
saw
foot.
trees freaking moving, like it and heard noise. Yeah, and that's his
Yeah,
story I
it's the
heard.
wind coming through.
Did you know? Did you know
Did you know?
that there is like a website where people are like have Bigfoot
Report
spotting.
their sightings.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's several in Perry County.
Well-
Perry County's like
well,
a hot spot.
Let's not get into
Pretty good meth up there
Perry
too.
County there. I mean,
I
there's
don't know how
Allegedly.
I feel about-
Allegedly.
I don't know how
Allegedly.
I feel about Bigfoot, but there's got to be
no,
something.
well,
to
that
it.
was the question though. Do you believe?
I'm like an in between when it comes to Bigfoot.
But aliens, we're all in on.
Well,
but
yeah, because I mean,
what
space
about
is-
Ghost?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
She
Ghosts
ain't
are real.
dumb.
Dave's out on Ghost.
ghosts
don't
are real.
ghosts.
You don't believe in ghosts?
I believe in aliens. I believe in Bigfoot, but I don't think.
Wait,
God
you
would-
believe in Bigfoot but not ghosts?
Yeah.
That's wild. Welcome to the
We
world of
talked
David
about that.
Allen.
I think it
Smoker.
was like 3 or 4 episodes ago. It's just that I'm pretty. You wouldn't guess it, but I'm pretty rooted in my faith.
Rich.
And
Rich.
I just believe
Fair.
once you're gone here, you're going to somewhere else.
I believe that too.
But aliens and Bigfoots ain't got shit to do with.
But
your-
what if God gives you the choice and is like,
You want to be a Bigfoot?
no, but what if he's like,
Brother Dave, welcome to the pearly gates.
I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Throw it
What
out.
if he's like, hey, yeah, if you want to hang out for a couple of years, like if you're not ready to leave, boom, and then you're a ghost. You're like, yeah, I want to hang out in my house for a couple of years before I cross over to that, spot. And
No,
God's
this
like,
is something I
okay.
haven't considered.
God's like, you know what?
Oh, Dave's mind right now is just in a pickle.
Like,